CBS lead NFL analyst Tony Romo joins us now from the site. Tony, this is a measuring stick matchup, as we like to call it. Denver trying to find out what they are at their core, and they send a big message here in the fourth quarter. What'd you take away from the come from behind performance?
Well, I think the fact that they had to come from behind is actually even more important when you talk about a measuring stick performance, because you're on the road against the defending champs who are undefeated, who have that championship DNA, and you just came out and decided to be like, we're going to turn it on in the fourth quarter. That doesn't happen very often against a team like that. So I was really impressed with their patience to go down 17-3, to go down and just be systematic in their approach to make it 17-10, and then they'd figure it out, and then they'd figure it out, and then the guts of Sean Payton to go for two. That's rare, but it was a really fun game to call. But that's a big, big win for this Bronco team.
Tony, I know Coach Payton's been there for some time, but still trying to get his personality and identity imprinted on this team it's an ongoing process. What does that moment tell you there at 17-16 with no hesitation to say, I'm Coach Payton, we're the Broncos, and this is how we occupy?
Yeah, I was around Sean when I came into the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys, and I think the biggest thing, and I said it on air today, Sean Payton's not scared. He's not afraid of the moment, and a lot of people just want to do exactly this thing to make sure that no one writes anything bad about me, or like just go exactly down, by the book. And he decided to risk a lot, I felt like, in that moment. And I was like, that is because of all the film study, all the practice, all the reps. You get this moment and you're like, I know this is going to work. And when you believe that, you're like, boom, and I know my team's going to do it because I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. And he went out there and did it. And I feel like this team just put their head down and went to work. It was a good style for them. The matchup was in place because they have some guys who could make it difficult on, the Phillies, like outside wide receivers who are really exceptional. But I felt like it was going to be a hard game. But being down 2 scores on the road against defending world champs who are 4-0, that's a really tough game to come back and win, and they did it. They deserve a ton of credit for this one.
To your point, that if that ball is delivered a little bit wide on the 2-point conversion, it's 17-16. The Eagles continue to get to play that plodding football that they intended. Instead, they're chasing and have to try and kick something into gear that we haven't seen yet. I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, 2 touchdowns, 280 yards. Smitty gets going. Still not Saquon or A.J. Brown. What are you not seeing from this group just yet that you want to see that indicates we are the group from last year and we do carry that same standard?
I think the bye week is going to be a big one. I think that you saw last year when they were 2-2, you got to remember they keep having new offensive coordinators who come in every year. And each time that happens, that person wants to impose their thoughts, their ideas, and their image of what they think the team could be. And then all of a sudden it's like, but also make sure you do all the stuff from last year. That's just not an easy segue for any team. And I felt like, we've seen this play out so many times on this team. Last year at 2-2, they had the bye week. Then they took off and won, going away from there. And that's where I think you'll tell everything, because it's in week 9 this year. I'd be concerned after the bye week if they're not playing great football. But I think they're going to keep realizing what we need to go to. We're not as good at this year. We're a little better at that. This guy needs to play more than that guy because there's different people, different coaches. But I think the Eagles are just fine. A loss is not the worst thing in the world for a team at this level. It kind of gets them reset. They're going to bring everything they got next week. And I think week 10 or 11, 12, you'll see them rolling.
I'm feeling some deja vu here, Tony. It feels like we did this a season ago. You heated the same morning, and look where we ended up. Philly, got to get it figured out, but plenty of personnel there to get it done. I think the Nance, Romo, Wolfson group was due for a thriller, and we checked that box here in Philadelphia. Great to be with you always, Tony.
Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler, it's been a long time coming, and now in your 11th start, you get your first NFL win. How sweet is this moment for you?
It feels great, especially being at home. We wanted to come in here and play good and play well, and all 3 phases of the ball played well. So credit to the defense. They played really well today. Guys on offense made big-time catches. O-line, I think we had 0 sacks today. It was a good day. Good day in the office.
I mean, you had a beautiful deep shot to Rashid Shaheed for 87 yards, but you spread it around to 7 different receivers. How is this offense improving week to week?
Yeah, I think we're just, continuing to find our identity. We know we got the weapons to take shots down the field, and this defense gave us a chance to do that, and love the play calling. Probably could have hit a few more, but it felt good to get that one.
Keep mentioning the defense. Kool-Aid McKinstry had 2 interceptions, 3 passes defense, and there were 3 forced fumbles by the defense total. How clutch were those guys today?
Super clutch. I know they were waiting for a game like that, and they came through big, and credit to them. They balled.
Congratulations. Go enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, a cool moment here for Spencer Rattler, who, to his credit, the last few weeks has been playing better football. It just hasn't equated to a win. It finally does here in Week 5 as he becomes the first Saints quarterback drafted by the team to win a game since Danny Werfel in '98. Back with the Mac, and this one's going to be met with some reaction as well. An opportunity on the road to shed some of those road demons for the Giants. They don't necessarily take advantage. A 56-yard touchdown drive led by Jackson Dart to start, followed by a 70-yard touchdown drive. Then what, Mac?
Everything just fell. You're up 14 points on the road. Your young quarterback extremely comfortable going through his progressions. But when you're a young team, you're still trying to figure things out. You oftentimes find ways to lose ball games. That's what it is. And that's what happened with the New York Giants today. You're up 14 points, and then you just decided not to protect Wilson, the football. My good guy Joe is about to be a father. A newborn you will be holding in the coming weeks. How will you protect that newborn?
High and tight, 5 points of pressure.
Exactly.
I don't know if 5 points of pressure is.
It's going to be close to you.
Yeah.
Right?
High and tight.
You have to protect the football like a newborn baby. Keep it close to you, because if you want to win ball games, you have to do that. 5 turnovers, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. 1 fumble was on the cusp of going in to score in the red zone. And then even with all those turnovers, you still had a shot to win this ball game. They got to find a way to get learning how to lose out of the building. They've been losing for such a long time. They know how to lose. You have to learn how to win. And kudos to Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints. I had the opportunity to talk with a New Orleans Saints fan over the weekend, and he said this was the game I circled. When you look at the uphill battle, kind of the rebuild situation, we felt like we wanted to see competitive fight. But this was the game we felt like we could actually win. And that's why they packed the dome today, because they felt like they could win this ball game. And let's go back to last week. They lost 31-19, if not mistaken, against the Buffalo Bills. But remember, that was a competitive ball game for a minute. They were fighting. They were scrapping. Fourth. Yes, into the 4th. So something clicked for the New Orleans Saints a week ago in a loss that they utilized in today's matchup, especially with the slow start, that they found a way to not to crawl back into the ball game, but to win this ball game. Great job.
Turnovers like newborns going to keep you up at night. That's just the reality of the situation. And Brian Daboll's going to lose some sleep over this one. Now 8 consecutive road losses. And unlike Indy, Mac, who's found a way to win off of a loss, the Giants can't find a way to stack up wins. That's now 0-5 following their last 5 victories. Let's finish with a word here on Spencer Rattler, because it was a tough start to a career. 0-10 obviously outlines that as much as it needs to be. But we've seen others in history struggle to start and find their stride. Do you see a quarterback growing in his confidence?
Yeah, I think so. I think you never question his confidence. It's about the issue around him. You know, he lacks a lot of resources that a young quarterback would like to have when you talk about being more than serviceable, but most importantly, trying to win ball games. But I think when you look at Kellen Moore, Joe, I think they're going to utilize patience, because they've been patient with Spencer Rattler so far. And of course, he's the best quarterback in the building, and he gives you the best chance to win. And whatever happens this year, Kellen Moore will be the coach for 2026. So now it's about finding the guys who are deserving to be a part of this roster, not only on the roster, but having significant roles for us moving forward. And that's what they're doing right now. And it was good to see Spencer Rattler, because like I said, since becoming a starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, he's been trying to work with less.
Yeah.
Do more with less, and he found a way to get it done today. And shouts out to the defense. Kool-Aid went into today's ball game with 0 interceptions in his career to now having 2. And New Orleans Saints fans, make sure you pack the building the next home game with a bunch of Kool-Aid masses. That is a dope concept. I would love to see that more and more from the Saints fans, because when you have that name, you better have a mascot that follows you.
You know, sitting in this chair, I did Kool-Aid McKinstry's commitment, I believe, to Alabama right here on CBS Sports.
Yes, you did.
We're getting old. We're getting old, that I know.
You are, not me.
Hey, turnarounds happen one game at a time. We get older one day at a time, and this is win number 1 for the New Orleans Saints. It comes against the Giants. Now we're looking at two teams sitting at 1-4 after this one, and the road woes continue.